What's up guys, it's Enlusion here and welcome to this video where I will show you how I produced my remix of Tight Mountain Syndrome by Narel. So let's get straight into it. First of all, the kick and bass group as always, so it sounds like this. Now let's show you how this was made. Well, in this case I've only got the audio because I had to render all the processing into the audio because otherwise my CPU was just about to die. So I only have these rendered audio samples. So the kick is quite classic trance kick. Nothing too special. Next, the sub bass, which is made completely out of the kick. So you should always look for your sub bass to sound either with the same volume or 1 dB down. That's what happens here too. Next, the mid bass. And I thought that it's not enough, so I have added one extra layer of, let's call it bass. I just used the piano on the very low scale. I think it's G1 as the track is in G minor scale, the remix. And originally it sounded like this. But then I thought that I should make these notes shorter a bit, so I ended up using this setting. I think that currently I enjoy this setting more, but I'm definitely not going to change things on the portals and beatboard. So yeah, that is about the kick and bass. I think I spent 3 weeks working only on this part because kick and bass is the most important thing in any of the productions. It's the foundation without which your track will just be static and have no groove at all. So unless you have this group finished, you just can't really proceed with adding the things on top. And I see that in most cases people are just very lazy and they only have like kick and just one like bass channel, which is sub bass, mid bass, high bass, just everything, and they think that it's fine. It's not. So next we have a huge group of percussions, or a huge one. In the climax it sounds like this. So a lot of different sounds here. So the head first. It's 68% in mono for the better mix down purposes. Next I have 16th heads, which have a lot of velocity play going on. So most producers would just go for this setting and leave the things as they are. That is static. I need groove in my music. Yeah, so don't be lazy asses. Add velocity play to your productions, please. Next we have toms, my classic toms, I think, really. Yeah, so I just move them up and down in terms of what key I'm working in. In this case it's G minor, and the original sound of this tom is F minor, so I have to put them up a bit. And next I have these snares, which was the very last thing which I added to the percussions group, as I thought that something is missing at certain times. Have to really play the whole thing to understand why exactly have I chosen these transients of the groove for these snares. Yep. So next I have rhythmic claps, very basic sounds. Nothing too special. Yeah, I just used only this part of the original sample, which is quite long actually. So next I have a lot of different one-shots. For example, this one. You can see that I played with the transposing. So here, for example, it's 8 semitones down, and here it's only 4 semitones down. That's how I work on the progression. And also there is a movement of the sounds across the panorama. You can hear and actually see how the sound is moving. Okay, next, another one shot. I've only used this part from the loop. Next, this rhythmic head, which I add in majority of my new productions. It adds some unique groove. Love it. And next, another one shot, this time in the right channel finally. Only used this sound out of the entire loop. Didn't need anything else. Next, claps. So yeah, I have layered 2 different claps here and added some movement to them. You can see that they are slightly off the grid, both of them. And there is a very little movement going on from this one to this and that for both lines, both samples. So the first line is the dominating part and the second part. So this second clap is, it has some has delay added, has effect. And that's how it worked together. I'll play it with the kick and bass. Next, we have a ride, and I play it with the velocity here as well. I'm not a lazy ass. Typically producers are just going for this. That is lazy. That's better. So yeah, that's all about the percussions group. So far we have this picture. It makes me move right in my chair here. I can only hope to hear it on a large sound system in the club. Okay, next we have quite interesting sound, which I absolutely love. It's from the Narel Club V, and you can see how much I played with the cutoff, and yeah, a lot of automations going on the LFO. You can see here how the cutoff is going up and down. And I made it using the LFO. Very nice sound, quite puzzle or glue-esque, I should say. Next, of course, I needed more rhythm, as you can never have enough of that. Very simple sounds. A lot of techno producers use this type of rhythmic heads and one-shots. For example, Enrico Sangiuliano. Next, I have this rhythmic step, which I also used in my Mindfield remix for Hupu on Forescape in April. I want to transpose it down a bit more, 9 semitones down. So originally it's actually this sound. Yeah, I tend to transpose down almost everything. We could actually go the entire tone down as well. That is actually nice. It's something for the dub techno. That is great. Yeah, that's great. Okay, next, what we have next, we have the Vox. We finally reached a point where I started using the samples from the original track. So I used only a part of the samples which Nick provided, which he used in the original. So for example, here it's only this small portion of it. And then the second vocal sound. So this one was actually transposed 4 semitones up, because otherwise it would have been in a different key. And I also had to put up the detuned 27 cents up, because this was the perfect frequency for this vocal sample. And there's a bit of automation here for the sidechain, creative sidechain in the Gatekeeper plugin. And next, we finally reached a point where I used all these amazing pads which Nick has created. So first we have this intro pad, which I only used in the intro and outro. I've added a lot of shimmering reverb on it. Let me play the most loud part. Just a bit of sidechain going on here. EQ, so the filter is opening up. Yeah, and nothing too special. Next is my favorite sound from the original track by Nick, this platypus styled alternative chords, as he called them. yeah, it's just great. And then for this pad, I had to work with the original MIDI to fit it to my remix, because it was in a different key. There is a key change in the original track, and I just didn't want to mess up with that. I kept everything in G minor. So for this one, I used Wave State plugin, the synth, with loads of shimmer and reverb as well, and some creative sidechain. Hear how it sounds. Yep. And next, this Atmo, which I recorded from the Analog Lab V, one of the synths there. It's quite nice. Yep. And of course, the arpeggio, which starts playing after the first breakdown. Oh, it's basically the original MIDI, and I have just moved some of the notes up and down, left and right, to be honest. So this wasn't an entirely new part in this remix. And that's all about the creative part, so that's only effects which are left, and this is the most boring part, I should say. And the only thing which I still need to show you is this stutter effect, how I created it before the drop parts. There are two of them, so I used the Solaris Reverb and Gatekeeper plugin for this stutter effect. So basically, that's how it sounds. And of course, when you add so much reverb and kind of stuttering effects, you need to always drop down the volume, because otherwise you will just make your listeners deaf. And there's the same thing going on when you get out of the second breakdown to the climax part. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So thank you everybody for watching. I hope I can rely on your support on Beatport with this one. Let's take it to the top 10 at least. And on this note, thank you very much and bye for now.